And if you're here for the first time, welcome. We've been doing this a long time. I think 2001 is when I first began to do our international conference calls. We would do them weekly and they were great. Over the years we developed the technology a little bit, and now we have these really great live webcasts that you can participate in. Again, every Monday night at this time, every week we put time aside so that we can answer your questions around how to meet these incredibly beautiful women from all over the world, places like Ukraine, Colombia, Peru, China, the Philippines, Thailand, and other places. In fact, Thailand, we were just watching an interview with our staff member Jane in Bangkok and John Adams, our CEO, from a recent tour in Bangkok. We have another one coming up in April that if you have any inclination at all to get yourself on a plane and go and meet the beautiful women in Thailand that have registered with us, that are part of our program there, man, you got to do yourself a favor and do it, because the women in Thailand are beautiful and interesting and very interested in meeting you. But anyway, I digressed. As I was saying, we do this every week to answer your questions about international dating, how to meet these beautiful women, how to court them properly, how to meet their expectations, how to find the right girl for you, the person who's absolutely perfect for you, your beloved life mate, how to make that happen, how to bring her here, wherever here is, wherever you're watching from, how to create that home together and that life going forward together. And you can ask your questions tonight during our live presentation. I will read them and answer them dutifully. There's a green box right above me, and if you click that green box, you can see where you can text me your question. Just text me your question, and I'll be very happy to answer it for you as we go throughout the webcast tonight. We have stuff to talk about. We have stuff to show you. We've got some great video playing in the background. This video is less than a month old, guys. We are looking at video footage of our most recent February Kiev and Odessa social parties. These are single social parties where men meet beautiful women, in this case in Kiev and Odessa, Ukraine, two really spectacular European cities. We had a great group of guys and a great program. Our staff worked really hard. And in the middle of winter, what do you know? The women are pretty bored, nothing going on. They want to meet guys. We create a really respectful environment for them to come out. And they came out in extremely high numbers. I know that girl. Anyway, some of the girls that I meet during the work that I do, and I always wish that they could find somebody. When I see them talking to a guy, I really hope that that works out in their favor. So anyway, click the green box. Send me your questions. I'll answer them throughout the webcast tonight. I also have a topic we're going to discuss for you, which are some ways that you can prepare for your singles tour. If you've got a singles tour, you plan on attending some of the singles parties we're going to be hosting all over the world, like the ones you're watching right now in Ukraine, I want you to be ready for that experience. And believe it or not, in some ways, mentally and emotionally, it's very hard to prepare yourself for the reality of meeting literally hundreds of women in one evening. But you will do it if you attend our social party. So I'm going to get you ready for that. We're going to talk about 6 things that are extremely fun to do right now to prepare for your singles tour later on this year. We'll cover that momentarily. A few other things I want you to be aware of. Guys, as you know, we have a whole schedule of free international dating seminars. When I say we, Foreign Affair hosts them. I do them. John Adams, our CEO, his lovely wife Tanya does them. I work with Robert. Some of you have talked to Robert and Marlon from the Philippines, a great couple. They certainly participate. We've got a lot of great seminars that are coming up for you, coast to coast. We love to get out in front of you guys. Our seminars are always free. They're about 4 hours long. They're really intense. We cover a ton of material. They are a learning experience, but you come away from our seminars feeling very empowered, and you definitely feel like you've got your mind wrapped around the realities of meeting women in this exciting realm. And we definitely spend a lot of time telling you how to avoid getting tripped up, how to avoid scams, how to avoid cultural misunderstandings. Honestly, there are more problems for guys that are caused by just not understanding the culture you are about to step into than there are guys who are actually getting scammed. Scams certainly exist, but there are at least an equal, if not a higher number of just misunderstandings or doubts around the culture that you're about to step into. So we do our best to clear those things up and give you guys very reliable, empowering, enabling, exciting information so that you can get ready to go get your girl. That's what we're all about here at Foreign Affair. We want you ultimately to go get your girl, because God knows we have tens of thousands of them that have joined our service around the world in 9 different countries that want to find a life mate. And if you don't get on a plane and go and meet them, for the vast majority of them, they're not going to find that life mate. And that's absolutely true. So you can tell why we're very passionate about what we do. Come to our free international dating seminars if we're going to be anywhere near you, and we're going to be coast to coast. You can see our schedule at Loveme.com, but we're going to be in Houston and Dallas at the end of March. I'm going to be in Baltimore and Jacksonville at the beginning of April. Mid-April, we're going to be in Minneapolis and Denver. And next Saturday, the 24th of February, we're going to be right here in our Phoenix headquarters, or maybe at the really nice restaurant next door. Please, guys, sign up for this seminar so we can do that. Anyway, come to our seminar in Phoenix, guys. It's 4 hours long. We're going to answer a ton of questions, show you some great video, save you a ton of money if you want to travel with us and meet some of our ladies and take part in our programs and services and find your life partner. And more than anything, we're going to lift you up, lift you right up, fill you full of life and energy, and make sure you feel really good about your chances, whoever you are, whatever your background is. I want you to leave our seminar feeling really great about your opportunity to get out there and find love, find your life mate, because that's what we do, and it's fun. You guys good with all that? Check out our tour schedule. Check out our seminar schedule if you want to participate in any of our upcoming tour programs, any of our upcoming singles tours, our social events. If you just want to come out to one of our seminars sometime in the near future, in February, March, April, and learn more about what we do, just get up and do any of that. And you put yourself in this great, wonderful forward motion process that will pull things in your direction. If you get up and you start learning about this, you're going to meet people ultimately who are as interested as you are. That whole experience is going to move you forward and lead you into the seat on an airplane to a country where your beautiful life mate is waiting to be discovered by you. The only thing that stops you from finding somebody in this process is you sitting right where you are and doing nothing. So get up, come to our seminar, get on our tours, get out there in front of the thousands of women that we have waiting to meet somebody, because we really want to help you create your love story. All right, guys, we're going to get to our topic in just a moment. You're enjoying some video from our recent Kiev and Odessa socials in Ukraine. Beautiful girls, aren't they? Now, again, guys, when you're watching these videos in the background of my webcast, I keep pointing this out. When you see the women and the men interacting with each other, I want you to remember that these are people who just met, probably within the hour. You know, we're watching people meet each other in our social parties. And these are men and women who are meeting each other, interpreters who are helping facilitate that where necessary. You see how comfortable people are with each other. See the body language, the eye contact, the smiles, the openness, the inclusion. That is all people who just met each other. And the point is that this is an incredibly friendly environment where it's not difficult for people to get to know each other. And you don't struggle to make an introduction. People are in this environment for one reason only. They want to meet somebody. The women are there because they want to meet you, and you're there because you want to meet somebody. And all you have to do is look at somebody and give them the look. Wow, you're really interesting. Wow, I think you're really attractive. And you get that look right back. And you know that you've got to go over and say hello to this person. And when you do, this is the kind of dynamic you're going to see going on. It looks great, doesn't it? Couldn't you see yourself doing that? Of course you can. You bet. All right, let's get some of your questions in. Let's get to our topic. Those of you who came out to my St. Louis seminar this past weekend, thank you guys. Had a great time. Really, really great group of guys, great seminar, lots of fun. All right, your questions. JR says, Bud, could you please tell us the features and benefits of Platinum Club? Give us some pointers on how to choose the country we go on a tour. Right on, JR. The Platinum Club accomplishes several things for you guys. We have a Platinum Club, and there are three main things that it will accomplish for you. Number one, if you're going to communicate with women through our site, and we encourage you to do that to some extent. You know, I talked with a friend of mine who was at the seminar on Saturday, and he worded it perfectly today. He said, men sometimes think that the communication, the correspondence, is a relationship, when in reality it is a precursor to a relationship, and that's true. But communicating with women is definitely a good idea to some extent where it makes sense. And anyway, the Platinum membership will save you money on the letters that you are writing and receiving from women. So that's number one. Number two, benefit of the Platinum membership is more and more women are posting videos at their profiles. And this is very interesting to look at, but you got to have a Platinum membership in order to watch those videos. Otherwise, you can still watch them, but you're paying about $4 each time you want to watch. So, watching women's profile videos, lowering the cost of your correspondence, and thirdly, when you make payments into your Express Mail account, when you're writing to the women, you pay $100, $200, $300 at a time, and we deduct from that each time you write to our ladies. We'll give you, each time you pay $100 or more, we'll give you 10% extra. And we'll take 10% and apply that toward a future tour if you want to go. So we'll just add those credits up and let us apply them to your tour costs, save you a little bit of money down the road. We like to do that. Those are the 3 things your Platinum membership will do. How do you decide which country to go to? To a certain extent, you've got to do a little bit of research on the culture. For example, if you have strong Christian values, there are probably some countries like the Philippines or Latin America where your success rate may be higher than it might be if you go to a place like China or the Ukraine. To be clear, there are Christian women in China and Christian women in Ukraine, absolutely, to be sure. But that's just some of the research you may want to do to make sure you're stepping into the culture where you have the highest, possibility of success or compatibility. Aside from just searching and educating yourself around the culture of the countries you want to step into, and we can always direct you to some resources for that information, use the search engine at Loveme.com and do a search for women from one place and another, separate searches for places you might want to go to. Keep a tally in your head of how many profiles that come up in the search engine results, who you find attractive. Where you find the most women attractive, go there. It just makes sense, right? I mean, that's what you do. And certainly, JR, you can write to us or you can call us up and talk to us, and we'll be happy to advise you very, very specifically on which countries and which cities make the most sense for you to go to. To be honest with you guys, anybody with good old-fashioned family values, a healthy respect for women in relationships, realistic expectations, especially around age difference, and a willingness to get on the plane and go. If you've got all that going for you, you can go anywhere in our matrix and be smashingly successful. That is the truth. But the reality is some places are going to be a little better for you as far as your criteria, what you're looking for in true compatibility, than others, and I want to direct you to those if we can. David says, when will you have a seminar in Los Angeles? Missed the one in January. Sorry, David, we missed you too. Soon, no doubt about it. I mean, we do 2 or 3 a year. So I would expect sometime in the first half of this year we'd be heading back to either Los Angeles or San Diego, Southern California for sure, so stand by. My friend Rick says, how you doing, bro? Which tour is better in Ukraine, Kiev or Odessa? You know what? Throw a dart, and where it lands, just go there, because Kiev is spectacular and so is Odessa. In February, we did both Kiev and Odessa, and you're watching the video footage from those socials, which are just a few weeks old. This video footage we're watching tonight in the background of this presentation. So this is video footage from our social in Kiev and our social in Odessa in February of this year. It's good stuff, guys. Steven says, just returned from Kiev a month ago. Unfortunately, the service that I chose was a scam. My question is, how do I get to know the women prior to a social? Can you explain? I'm going back this summer as I'm committed to this. Well, I tell you what, Steven, if you go back this summer, why don't you go back with me? I'll be doing the tours in July. We're doing 2 3-city tours, or if you add them all together, 1 6-city tour. I'd love to see you there, man. I'll do my very, very best to steer you in the right direction. The fact that you went to Kiev and it didn't work out, that happens to a lot of guys. But the most important thing is that you went, you got at least some exposure to the culture, whether you realize it now or not. That's going to pay huge dividends to you later on, because you're going to be more and more comfortable each time you go back to Kiev. How do you get to know the women before you meet them? It's tricky, it really is, but there are a number of ways that you can do it. And one of the ways is that you can certainly correspond, but do so in limited fashion. After a little bit of correspondence, if it appears she has a sincere interest in you and there seems to be chemistry and compatibility through your correspondence, talk to that girl on the phone. Order a phone translation call. 50, 60 bucks. 5-10 minutes of phone conversation. You're going to hear her voice. You're going to hear her level of enthusiasm for you. Does it match her correspondence? Is she inviting you to come and meet her? Does she promise that she'll meet you when you get on the plane to come and meet her? Does she seem to be really excited to talk to you and get to know you? That is really important for you to hear. And if you can do that 2 or 3 times, Stephen, I think you'll make a good connection through phone connectivity with a couple of girls. Know that you're going to meet them when you get on the plane and go. And on the other hand, I can honestly tell you guys that men want to get to know the women before they get on the plane to come and meet them for many reasons, which have a lot to do with the thousands of guys that initiate communication with these women and then go absolutely nowhere, break their promises, and don't do a thing they say they're going to do. Women hesitate to open up extensively through correspondence. They want that face-to-face meeting. They think very practically and very realistically. They think it doesn't make sense to invest emotionally into someone's correspondence if there's no evidence that the guy is going to get on the plane to come and meet them. Eventually, if the guy backs out, they'll be hoodwinked after wasting a lot of time and emotion. And we have story upon story upon story in our 23-year history of women who kind of fell for that scenario. And so I just encourage you to start out with the realistic expectation that you're really not going to get to know anybody until you go and meet them face to face. The point is to have a plan to make that happen successfully. Why don't you call me up and let's talk about what your options are, because I'd love to get to know you. I won't twist your arm or force anything on you, Steve, but definitely would like to help you if I can. TW says, when you be in the LA area, as I just said, TW, I think we'll be in LA sometime between now and summer. Sometime maybe LA or possibly San Diego. Yeah, since if you guys are asking, I guess we should probably talk about that and possibly plan our next seminar. We do have one in Phoenix, guys. If you can make it to Phoenix, short flight, 5-hour drive. If you can make it to Phoenix next Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at our Phoenix headquarters right here, the address of which is at the bottom of every page at Loveme.com, guys. If you can come to Phoenix next Saturday, you'll get a life-defining seminar. I promise you. I'm not kidding. Life-defining. My friend Melvin from Chicago says, before we jump into the presentation here, I noticed that Nikopol profiles all say, come see me in Kryvyi Rog. This is Ukraine we're talking about. Does that mean I have to go to Kryvyi Rog to meet them, or do I need to actually go to Nikopol? You know, Mel, I would imagine that you could go to Nikopol, a small city in Ukraine. It's probably not easy to get there, and it's probably a little bit expensive, and I don't know that we have a whole lot of people in Nikopol. Frankly, I don't know that we have a whole lot of people in Kryvyi Rog, but we have a few. It might make more sense for someone you're writing to come to a city like Kharkov, or maybe Odessa, or maybe Kiev, maybe Poltava, one of those cities where we have staff. And people in Ukraine, they like to move around, they like to travel. They'd like to visit another city in Ukraine for a weekend if they can do it. So maybe you should propose, hey girls or girl, why don't you come see me in Kharkov? If I make it all the way to Kharkov, I'll book you a hotel, I'll pay for your train, your taxi, whatever you require. And let's get together for a weekend. Just have dinner, go bowling, spend some time together and see where it goes. That's probably a better idea than having you go all the way to Nikopol. Melvin, you're awesome and I love you, man. You know I do. All right, so guys, it's February, and on the one hand, I'm really just stunned at how quickly February has gone by. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. But there's a lot of time left this year, and as you know, we have a few singles tours that are coming up between now and summertime. Summer's going to explode, right? I mean, we have 25, 30 guys on our tours most of the time. When summer comes, you know, it's almost twice that. It's huge. So we know there's a lot of activity coming. And then, of course, you round the corner from late summer into early autumn and fall, and before you know it's November, and we have tours all year long. You have an excellent chance this year, all year, to make a lot happen for you in your personal life. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to have a virtual relationship or virtual correspondence. You deserve to have a real girl and a real relationship, which you can support through virtual means like Skype or chat or emails or texting or Google Translate or whatever. Those virtual tools were meant to support a real relationship, not the other way around. Not that a virtual tool should replace a real relationship in your life. So anyway, I want you to get a girl. I want you to be happy. I want you to have your love story. I want you to go and be, you know, the man that so many of the women who join us dream of and want and need. A lot of men who are out there are single and alone. You've got tons of love to give. You look in the mirror, you see a nice guy, you know that he's got good love, you know he deserves better. He looks right back at you and says, what are you doing about this? Are you doing anything about this? Or are we just going to peel away another year, wasting time in this virtual relationship which does nothing for us? And you know, that's what he's thinking, right? That beautiful inner truth that comes to us in our reflection in the mirror. So let's assume that you're going to do something life-defining. You're going to come to one of our seminars, maybe attend one of our singles tours, maybe you're going to travel by yourself to meet our staff in cities around the world and work directly with them to introduce you to some of the ladies who are out there. Maybe any of the above. Here are some ways that you can prepare for that eventuality. Here are 6 incredibly fun ways to prepare for your upcoming singles tour. All of these are great. All of them are fun and useful if you take the right attitude toward them. Guys, if there are 3 words that absolutely determine your fate in love, in life, in relationships, in work, you know I'm not kidding. Those 3 words, attitude is everything. There are folks for whom the glass is half empty, folks for whom the glass is half full, and I'm here to tell you, man, if your glass is always half full, you're in a good place. So let's make it happen this year. 6 incredibly fun ways to prepare for your singles tour. So guys, you know what? We're busy, we're working a lot, many demands on our shoulders. We eat whatever we can eat whenever we can. We're just trying to make payroll, make our bosses happy. Keep going, right? Get out and exercise. Sometimes I think we tend to have that perfectionist flair in us, right? I want to join an elite health club. I want to go to the gym 5 or 6 times a week. I want to have a personal trainer. I want to do all these things. And if I can't do it perfectly, then I'm not going to do it at all. And I know that if you're like me, you develop that attitude to some point. I'm either all in or I'm just not going to go for it. But the reality is, exercise right now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months before you take your trip, is a great investment for you personally. If you have the opportunity to shed a little bit of weight, to get that blood circulating, to feel healthy and strong, to feel better about the person you see when you're in the mirror, to feel attractive, to start getting compliments from people. Wow, you've lost a little weight. Wow, you look really great. Wow, this, wow, that. We love those compliments, don't we, when we get them? And if you haven't gotten them in a while, there's a lot you can do about that, believe it or not. Get out and walk. Walk regularly. Build how much you're walking. Join a health club. Go swim. Swim is a low impact exercise. It burns calories, head to toe. Develop your muscular structure head to toe. Go swim. Go walk. Go hike. Go do things that are active. Go bowling for a few hours. Just get up, go, lose a few pounds. Of course, while you're at it, don't sabotage everything that you're doing with your diet, like I do, if that's not obvious. Get out and exercise, guys. Get out and exercise 4 or 5 days a week. You don't have to, you don't have to do P90X, although it's not a bad idea, right? Just get out and walk regularly. Get some comfortable walking shoes and get out there. When you go on a tour, you're going to walk. If you haven't walked, recently, you are going to walk, because women all over the world walk to places. Taxis aren't readily available. Many people don't drive, and they walk for exercise because they believe it's healthy and they like to do it if the weather's good. And if you haven't been walking, then you're going to be huffing and puffing while you're trying to romance your girl, and that's not romantic, right? It's not attractive. Get out and exercise. Find some way. Walk down that country road. Go to the YMCA. Join a 24-hour fitness. Download a song list that you just absolutely are energized to listen to, whatever that is. Watch your diet. Get out there and exercise. Lose a few pounds. You will feel great about it. You can buy better clothes and wear better clothes that fit you, that aren't baggy and excessive, and you will enjoy that very, very much. Sometimes guys say to me, Bud, seriously, do I have to exercise? No, you do not. But if you want good results, you're going around the world to meet women who are slim and attractive, guys. We've got to put our best foot forward. It just goes without saying, right? So go exercise. Go do it right now. Take me with you, for goodness sake. Start saving money. Start creating a fund or a bank account, if you will. Deposit a little bit into it each month or each week. I know that sounds funny. Some of you don't need to do that. Some of you are like, Bud, I was there a long time ago. Money's not the problem. I get it. But if you're on a little bit of a budget and you want to make sure you have enough money to have some fun when you're on this trip, start putting some money aside and start planning what you're going to do with that money. You're going to go out on dinner dates. You're going to go out on coffee dates. You're going to go to the movies. You're going to buy flowers. You're going to plan some really nice surprise. You're going to do some really cool stuff with that budget that you've created for this trip. If you were taking a singles cruise and you needed to budget, you do the same thing for that, right? You put a little bit of money away so you can have fun on the singles cruise. If you were taking a trip, a European vacation, everybody does that. You create a European vacation budget, if you will, fund, if you will, and you put money into it. Find ways, get creative, sit down, think about it, and force yourself to find ways to put enough money aside so that you will go and enjoy this trip without compromise. It's really, really important. I see guys on every tour who are clearly on a budget, as I would be, and I completely get that. And one kind of a setback, whatever that is, one little thing, for example, I knew one guy whose card got eaten by a machine when he was trying to use the ATM card. And that was a clear setback for him for the entire trip, because a lot of the money he was trying to access was in the account that card had, right? So put the money aside, save it, get ready to use it on your trip. There will be various ways that we can talk about how to use that money in your budget so that you get the most for that money and you definitely have a good result. You create the romance you want to create and have fun, and you can have your socials party and your singles tour without compromise, doing everything you want to do. Start saving that money. Find ways to put money aside. Exercise and put money aside. Guys, this is very important. Unless you're going to the Philippines, which is a great place to go, where most of the women speak English, Wherever you go in Latin America, Ukraine, China, Thailand, there are women who speak English, but it's less than 20% of the women, for the most part, who speak English. So that means a whole lot of women are going to be really great for you, and you are going to be attracted to them in a really strong way, but they don't speak English. We have great staff interpreter matchmakers there to help you make a connection and get to know each other, and they're very, very adept at helping two strange people who really like each other break down the ice and get to know each other. So you'll work with our staff interpreters to help to get to know some of those ladies, but it definitely helps you make the right impression and feel comfortable in those social situations, those dates, to learn some of that foreign language. So go learn 30 language phrases. If you're going to Latin America, go learn 30 Spanish phrases. I'm not talking 30 Spanish words, I'm talking 30 Spanish phrases. Go learn 30 Chinese phrases, go learn 30 Russian phrases. Now, obviously you don't need to do all of that, just learn 30 phrases of the language, of the culture you are going to explore and find your girl in. It is so easy to do that. How are you? You are lovely. Such beautiful eyes. Are you hungry? Would you like to eat? Shall we go there? Is it tasty? How do you feel? Oh, it's so easy to say those things in another language. There are many, many places where you can go to learn how to do that for free or virtually nothing. And I listed some sites here that I know, third-party sites. Memrise, Duolingo, they're great, they're easy to use. You can definitely learn phrases from most languages just on those two sites alone. Believe it or not, Google Translate's pretty easy to use as well, right? But it is a computerized translation, so keep in mind, as you enter an English phrase and you translate it, you've got to translate it back into English, and Google Translate, you will see when you use it, makes it very easy for you to correct a phrase so that's exactly what you want to say. You can use Google Translate. There's even a voice function so that you can speak in English and have it come out in whatever language you're targeting. You can listen to the words you're trying to learn pronounced in that language. Google Translate's pretty handy once you get the hang of it. Believe it or not, there are many language schools and language instructors on YouTube who are trying to give you some introductory lessons so that they obviously can continue to work with you and offer you instructions, so you can learn a lot of things just from YouTube. I mentioned Ruspeech, which is a really great site for those of you who are interested in learning Russian phrases. They have a whole bunch of them. Then that's just a handful. There are many, many other sites. Go learn 30 language phrases so that every day, you could say something to that girl in her language. That will do two things. One, it shows a huge sign of respect, and it's a smart thing to do if you're stepping into another culture to be able to speak some of their language. Because quite frankly, they won't be impressed if you go all the way to their country and can't say a word to them in their language. Secondly, it gives you the opportunity to murder a few words, to look a little silly, to laugh at yourself, and she will do the same. If she knows any English, if there are any words or phrases she would like to use, but she's a little nervous about it, when she sees you willing to monkey around a little bit with her language, she'll risk the same, and then the two of you will be communicating back and forth. It just creates closeness, guys. It really does. And respect and hilarity and fun moments and understanding. So go learn 30 language phrases, 30 of them, 30 full phrases. Learn them. You'll be proud of yourself. And I will be proud of you too. There's nothing better than being in the middle of a conversation and the girl is not expecting you to say anything in her language, and there's a pause, and you say something to her like, "You have beautiful eyes," in her language. A little bit of a surprise. She'll think, he knows a little bit of the language. It's kind of fun. Number 4, get some style. Most American men aren't necessarily achieving or striving to achieve style. We think we have style. We wear pants and shirts. Isn't that style, bud? And the reality is there's a lot more that we can do about style. Style is the way we present ourselves to people around us. Style matters to a lot of women. It matters to the women in Ukraine. It matters to the women in China and Thailand. And it matters to a certain extent to women in other places like Latin America and to the Philippines. In Latin America and the Philippines, the women aren't necessarily expecting style, but where they see style, they definitely recognize it and like it, and it impresses them. I dare say that in China, in Thailand, in the Ukraine, women are expecting you to show a little bit of style because they view style as a matter of self-respect. Would you wear clothes that were not flattering, that were wrinkled and stained, that were baggy? Would you do that? Because that basically shows a lack of self-respect. That's what women will basically perceive, whether they verbalize that or not. You have to realize, if we're going to go to places where the women themselves will put on whatever their best dress is, whatever that is, to come to a social event and we show up in something that's not ironed and unkempt, you know, khakis and a baggy shirt and some roughed up shoes, that just does not communicate the right level of confidence and self-respect to the women that we're trying to meet. And American men are notorious for having absolutely no style at all. I'm sorry, but it's true. Good news is, lots of ways to get a little style. You can read about style on the internet. You can, there are all kinds of blogs which talk about that. I always tell guys, as funny as it sounds, if you go shopping and there are mannequins, buy what the mannequins are wearing. Just buy it in your size. I mean, there are all kinds of things that you can do. Ask an associate, ask for help. But there are all kinds of places where you can go to learn a little bit about men's style and men's fashion and find things that are really appropriate. Now we're looking at some great video footage from a recent tour in China. Those of you who have your eye in China, China's such an interesting and fascinating culture, right? So number 4, get some style. Exercise, save a little bit of money, get some style. Learn some language phrases. I had to remind myself. Here we go. Number 5, guys. Things you can be doing right now to prepare for your singles tour. Number 5, go shopping. Guys are like, wait, bud, really? Seriously? Go shopping? Yep. Go shopping. Why go shopping? Gift giving. Now, it's not just gift giving, guys, but there's a certain part of courtship that is what women will call the teddy bear chocolate stage, right? I mean, most guys can absolutely understand you like to give flowers. You like to give a gift, especially if it's a very thoughtfully picked out gift, especially if it's a gift with some significance to it, whatever that is. Maybe a bottle of wine from your hometown. Maybe some really great chocolate from, I don't know, your region, if you will. Maybe a perfume that you just really like, but you've never known anybody who wore it. You know what? That's a killer gift, guys, right? And if you find a bottle of perfume, a good bottle of perfume is going to cost you at least, probably $90 to $100, and that's not cheap. I get that, but you take a really nice bottle of perfume and you give it to someone as a gift and just say, you know what, I really love this perfume, and I wonder if you like it. And if you don't, I'm not offended. Just try it and tell me. If she says, I actually like this, well, that's great, because I really like it, but I've never known anybody who wore it, and I want to give it to you, and maybe you would wear it once or twice on our upcoming dates, and that would just knock me out. And girls will do that for you. They will. They want to make you happy. Another thing you can do later on, you're on a date, you want a great date idea, take a girl. This is not a first date idea, but a third date, fourth date, when you get to know the girl a little bit, just say, there are some perfumes that I really like, and I wonder what you think of them, and I wonder what perfumes you like. Let's go look at them. And we can direct you to go to a place where you can shop per perfume. Let her buy a perfume that you like. Most women, for example, in Ukraine and China and places where we go, will be happy to wear a perfume that you like if it pleases you. It's an easy thing to point that out. Go try a few perfumes on and buy a relatively inexpensive but definitely significantly nice bottle of perfume that she'll wear for you, and then compliment her every time she wears it on a date. Little things like that are fun. You can buy cosmetics. You can go to Walgreens, buy brand name cosmetics like Maybelline, Revlon, whatever, put them in a gift bag. Women in Ukraine find it hard to buy those things, and when they do, sometimes they're counterfeit and they worry about that. If you buy them and bring them from the States, put them in a gift bag, nice gift, little things. I know a guy who brought several purses, just brought some very nice purses, took them on his tour, and he gave them out as a gift once or twice to somebody, and they were nice, simple little purses, but they were definitely received very well. Go buy some things that you want to give as gifts during the courtship process on your singles tour, and save them, protect them, package them well so they make the trip without getting damaged, and then at some point when it's appropriate, probably on a second or third date, or if there's a staff member or an interpreter who's doing a really good job for you, put something in a gift bag and say, here, I just want you to have this. That's a nice gesture. It's thoughtful. You control the gift-giving circumstances. Give flowers, give a gift that you purchased before the tour, something nice and respectful. The women will love that, and you'll make a good impression, and it's fun to do, isn't it? Guys, think about it. On the weekend, there's nothing going on. Go shop for your girl. Go buy that perfume that you love, that knocks you out. Buy a couple of them. Keep your fingers crossed that she likes one of them. And if she does, she'll wear it for you, and you've got your girl wearing your favorite perfume. How cool is that? I say, very cool. And then finally, guys, another fun thing to do is to start writing to the women that you want to meet. And when you write to the women that you want to meet, look, there are a lot of things coming at you in your inbox when you set up your profile. I know the intro letters are going to come at you. We get tens of thousands of women with no guy. And we have all these agencies and offices that represent them trying to help them find a guy. So you're going to get totally bombarded with letters as soon as you show any sign of life on our website. And welcome to a foreign affair. It's what you get when you're one of 1,000 guys who travel all year on tour programs. We have 44,000 women at the website. You go to the search engine, photographs, to read all your smile, your eyes, but I'd really like to in the future. Talk about her and she in it and send. Suddenly the time comes to go on your period, right? Get out and exercise. Commit yourself. I'm going to lose 5 in the club. 5 pounds if you've got 5 pounds. Put some money aside. Go out without any kind of compromise. You do so much around this singles. It's easy to do. You can phrases. Go to the websites that I mentioned. They're all over the place. Call me up if you need. And you say hi. Very, very nice to meet you. Easy, right? Things that let them know that you're here. Write simple letters that are easy. It's about any from Mexico, you could be from France. They don't care. They just want a nice guy who's, you know, a good guy. We've had a little bit of correspondence. Tour. Book your airfare. Name number of women. You'll have the correspondence. And Roscoe. The correspondence? No. She does it. She has to legally, quite frankly. So there's no way around that. She's writing you through all, but most are not going to give you their personal. Very happy to talk to you. If that's meaningful, some insight. Ukraine alphabet and some similar. County for advice to me if you want to reach Renee, I'll help you do it. To see that you're every until you meet them face to face and let the women control that. So yeah, cards. And I'll tell you what, a local cosmetic, they're kind of like the cosmetic department at Macy's, and they're very well respected and will a chance to go and pick out a perfume that she likes or some kind of cosmetics that she likes. It's fun. It's a fun activity. What girl wouldn't want to do that? Definitely with Lush, Rave in America and Europe, but notice the price is going up a little bit. But I have a daughter who loves this stuff. Go to. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. A good idea for your date, no doubt. Really seen our dating experience while sometimes women in their respective profile. About 1,000 guys that travel all over the world all during. Excellent expert you want, criteria that you're looking for, how we do it, we do what we do. Why are we so passionate? These tour in November who kept him out of depression, kept depression due to a relationship that ended. Aside from being blessed, anything else that I've done that's worth more than that I have definitely been in. I'm sad and depressed and relationships end and come out of it, the sun is shining and you give their love right back to you every single day. And that's what we do. That's why we're finding in front of us, right? It's to what you see at a foreign affair. You as a women are real and sincere and they have no opportunity to give their love to somebody. And I